Exercise 2.01, we're expanding single brackets. So just a bit of quick revision. Remember there's a times sign in between there. 3 times p is 3p. 3 times q is 3q. The signs are all positive, so we'll stick with the positive in between. Right, we might try one with a negative. Let's try number 3. Once again, we're multiplying. Minus 4 times x is minus 4x. 4 times 3 is 12. The negative and the positive mean it will be a minus in between. Let's jump up and have a go at number 5. Once again, we're multiplying. 3 times 2x will be 6x. A negative and a positive will make that a negative. 3 times 9 is 27. This time, when we're multiplying two negative numbers, negative 3 times negative 9. The two negatives will cancel out when we multiply and become a positive. Let's have a go at this one. Now this is like negative 1 actually in front of the bracket. That's one way of thinking about it. So negative 1 times x will be negative 1x. We don't need the 1. And then that's like negative 1 times positive 2. 1 times 2, it's going to be 2. Negative and a positive is a negative. Another way of looking at this one is the negative changes the sign on all the terms inside the bracket. So the terms were positive, the negative has changed the signs on both of them. And we can see that again with number 8. Negative 1 times 7 will equal negative 7. And this time with the x, I've got a negative and a negative. The two negatives, when we multiply, two negatives become a positive. Just getting a little bit harder. Number 11 there, that's actually a mark on the page there. X times 3x, if you remember, is 3x squared. X times 4 is plus 4x. Moving on, we might move on now to number 17 and have a go at expanding. We've got the plus in the middle there, so we need to move down. We'll get 3x plus 6 plus 4x plus 2. And of course, gathering up the like terms, 3x plus 4x is 7x, 6 plus 2 equals 8. And it continues down there until we perhaps try one like number 20. So we'll have a go at number 20. 4 times x is 4x, plus 12, and then I've got a minus x on the end. Once again, we can gather up the like terms. 4x take away 1x is 3x, plus 12. Now as soon as we get to one like this, where you have a bracket take away another bracket, I recommend you just put a line down there and just break it up a little bit. That first bracket there, we don't need to do anything with that, so that will stay as x plus 1. Now that negative, remember it changes the sign on everything inside the bracket. So negative 1 times 1, we're going to get a minus 1 term. When we multiply and bring that negative into the bracket there and multiply, two negative signs when we multiply become a positive x. Gathering up the like terms, 1x plus 1x is 2x. You'll notice in the middle this time I'll have plus 1 minus 1, which is 0, and it cancels out. Now moving on to one like number 22, if we use the same technique of just cutting that down there, I call it parking the 8. Notice that we need to be multiplying, expanding the bracket first before we add. If you remember BEMA, B-E-M-A, we always multiply before we add or subtract. So that multiplication in there needs to come first before we do the 8. So we park the 8 and now we'll do the multiplying and expand the brackets. So we're going to get a plus 5x term, and then we're going to get a plus 35 on the end. And simplifying that, if we write the 5x first, 35 and 8 is going to be 43. You can do 23 similarly by breaking it up and expanding first. Quite powerful with number 24 is perhaps a harder one. We'll park the 6x. Now we'll do our multiplying. So we're going to get negative 3 times 2x will be minus 6x. 3 times 8 is 24. Let's think about the sign on that. Negative 3 times positive 8. A negative and a positive when we multiply will be a negative. Once again, tidying that up, interestingly, 6x minus 6x will disappear. And I'll be left with negative 24. Right, we have another go at 25. Let's draw the line. X. I'm going to get minus 4 times 5 is 20. Two negatives when I multiply. This time I'm going to get a plus 4x term on the end. 4x plus 1x is 5x. I've got minus 20. Right, you need to work through the rest. Perhaps I'll help with number 27. Once again, we'll park the 1 while I expand and do the multiplying first. Remember, multiplying first. So that will be a minus x term. And then the two minuses multiplied together will be plus 1 on the end. 1 plus 1 is 2. And I've got the minus x. Or you might have written it as the minus x term plus 2. Both ways are correct. And I'll leave you to go back and finish the ones we haven't done and make sure you understand how to expand a single bracket.